Welcome, everybody. This is Casey Maxwell with Art of Divine Touch. Thank you, friends, for being here and being present, and for those of you that are tuning in and starting to tune in. This video I really wanted to make is about astral projection and outer body experiences. I've been doing my research and watching a lot of other YouTube videos of people that are familiar with outer body experiences and the different worldly connections through this type of work and this kind of expansion. And it's very inspirational, and I thought that I should also tap into this magic a little bit and share it with you. This is something I'm very passionate about because I've been doing it since a very young age. This was one of the first signs I had of being aware of a spirit and other worldly communications and other dimensions before anybody else decided to teach me about these things, or before I had research or knowledge about it. I wasn't raised in an environment to have these types of awarenesses, these gifts, and these soul journeys explained to me. So it was kind of confusing at first to tap into without having people or a community to discuss about it, especially at a young age. And I just went for it, and there was a knowing inside of me as a soul, as a young spirit who has experienced other lives, this awareness and this trust that I had for the things that I knew naturally without having to be taught them in this reality, because it had been things my soul had carried forth from other lives, for other experiences, and from my origins into this place and time now, into this next part of my journey. I remember some first signs of it happening when I would experience forms of sleep paralysis. And I became more aware of that when I was about 11 years old, the sleep paralysis, where everything would go dark. I would start to wake up in my dream state, and I wouldn't be able to move, and everything was black and kind of dark around me. And I remember feeling other beings and tapping into energies that I wasn't quite familiar with at this point. And I was very fearful. I was very scared. I didn't have someone to tell me, oh, honey, this is what's happening. This is your soul experience awakening and shifting into other dimensions, layers of consciousness, as other beings also come through to communicate. And I remember wanting to scream for my mom. And I knew that they were in the room next to me, and I was aware that I was sleeping and that I was stuck in this other reality, this dream state, and able to tap back into my body and wake myself up. And I just wanted to scream so bad, and there was no ability to vocalize what I needed to get out to have someone come wake me up. And I remember just thinking, crap, oh crap, oh crap. Someone please come tap me on the shoulder, shake me, jolt me, help me wake up. I was so aware of what was happening, yet I was so fearful. And that was some of my earliest experience with that outer body, dreamlike state. At that point, going from about the ages of 12 to 14, I really started to get into it. More so than even having knowledge of other forms of religion or spirituality, not having this being taught to me, or this awareness of different holistic practices or other dimensions, or even doing yoga. I wasn't at that point in my life, or wasn't raised in an environment where we had a physical, emotional, and spiritual embodiment of fluid movement with the universal river. That wasn't present for me, other than my instinct and my natural knowing and my psychic abilities at that age, and communicating with other beings, and just being confused about the world that I was growing up in. And so I had found a friend. Surprisingly enough, this was when chat rooms were just becoming popular and we were still using our big old box computers. And I had found somebody within a different state that was pretty close to me that was about my age. And he also was at this place in his life, even at the age of 13, tapping into that outer body experience. And I remember this is coming into my teenage years, me staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning and running around the room dancing and staying up on the phone all night talking. And I would do that with this person. We would stay up on the phone for hours, hours on end, and we would lay there together in silence at that time, trying to meet each other and experience our souls connecting in that other dimension, in that in-between space. And then, life happens and things change, and I stopped tuning into that part of myself or initiating it as a part of a way to heal and expand, and got caught up in school and the mundane world around me of getting my ducks in a row and what needed to happen next and how to deal with the family drama and how to grow the way that I'm supposed to, but still want to be me, be my authentic self. So much of that chaos and trying to get through high school and get into college becomes very distracting, and it really tunes us out from that part of ourselves, part of this spiritual journey that schools in this dimension don't nurture, that don't help us expand in that way. It's more about how to teach us to live and be domesticated and kind of cultured to this environment, conditioned to this way of being in this physical dimension, and the history that comes with that, but also nurtures our gifts and our abilities in other ways to live in this physical and material environment. And with that, it took many years to come back to a place of starting to see the synchronicities, starting to feel that awareness. I was always tapped into my dreams in a different way, where, especially over the last 6 years, sleep has become very overrated. Sleep is that shadow of death where we are full on experiencing most of our spiritual journey in other places, in other dimensions, and this is a small percentage of that reality. And becoming aware of that really helps you to tap into that part of yourself that can expand farther through outer body experience, to tap into the Akashic records, to heal your emotional and physical and spiritual well-being, see your past lives, see your probabilities of outcome in this life as well as possible future outcome. There is a lot to be experienced through this outer body way of being and through forms of astral projection. And this has many names and different concepts and ideas around discussing it. This is just another form or a label of something that is a part of your soul experience. But wanting to share it now and talk to you about it is really important because it can inspire you to get more out of yourself and find that even in the moments of this spiritual outer body experience, you're able to ground yourself here more because you're learning about the physical experience as well through remembering and through seeing things from a different perspective. Being in outer body experience also allows you to tap into things that are in that term of life, the in-between space of this life and the afterlife, the beings that are having a ghostly experience or in this mu, which means ghost, type of being, and needing to find their way moving on to the afterlife. Maybe they don't experience that tunnel of light, and their energy body, their auric field, gets stuck in this in-between space of this physical reality. And being in an outer body experience sojourn while still being alive in this dimension allows you to really travel and navigate not only in those in-between dimensions but also otherworldly dimensions, getting to our galaxy origins, speaking to other extraterrestrial beings, elders, angelic beings, getting into elements, nature spirits, your guardians, your loved ones on the other side. There is a realm of possibility of things to tap into. With forms of astral projection, it happens naturally to many of us, and also mainly when we're just sleeping. and we're out and about um, in our dream state, journeying around through these different stories we've created from thoughts we had before we fell asleep, from what happened earlier in that week, and then into reaching past into the next levels of dimension, journeying and going to class and learning and things that we don't wake up remembering. Our body, our soul body, continues to experience and is channeling back in forms of dreams and forms of visions and forms of telepathic communication or psychic forethought what is happening. And sometimes it's hard for us to listen, to tap into that. So setting intention and using methods, using trance music or binary code messages through music to tap yourself into a deeper part of that reality, to find forms of being able to have control of it and to jump out and to see yourself laying or sitting somewhere within your sacred space, with wherever you may be, and to work through those levels of fear and experience, to go farther, to walk through walls, to be on the roof of your house, to be outside of your house, to go see a neighbor. You can start setting up things with friends where you'll make connections, you'll meet each other in your dream state, you'll become aware of that. You'll also be able to communicate with people telepathically differently in that state, in that outer body experience. And be able, like we were saying earlier, to go farther, to go higher through different dimensions. This is something I'm so passionate about because we do this naturally, and because I have been doing this naturally and aware of it since a young age. If I didn't have this support and this guidance and the struggle that I went on, I may not feel as connected to that part of myself, that soul, that source, or the willingness and the ability to have those outer body experiences, to learn, to enhance that psychic ability, but more about the connectedness of being close to source and not feeling separated. This awakening at such a young age was a gift, but equally confusing, being that I didn't have someone to nurture that part of my life, my being, and growing up in a world that I was so confused by, let alone being a third dimensional reality where this amnesia kicks in. And I really had the gift of pushing through the nightmares and the sleep paralysis and all the terrifying moments of being a child, aware while I'm dreaming and moving around exploring and having those confusing conscious moments. So the inspiration came about to really dive deep into that from those ages on, of 12 and 14, like I was talking about, and experience that for a while. But that conditioning got me out of that experience for a long time, and it took me a while to get back to wanting to initiate it or set intention to do that. Before, it was still and always has been a natural experience through dreaming. I always say that sleep is so overrated at this point because I'm getting sucked in and out of so many different realities and different dimensions. And I could talk about this and go down many different routes, which I would like to do and make more videos on later, with techniques and styles, meditations, breathing, things that work for you through sleeping at night in your dream state, as well as the intention to astral project and to explore, to reach other dimensions, to enhance that psychic ability, or to tap into your Akashic records so you can learn from your past experiences, your soul journey, the moment now, all the probabilities of what can happen now, and that outcome in that future event. I'd really like to get back to explaining this experience that I had with it that was really powerful for me and really personal. I went into my normal trance, dreamlike state and started my breathing techniques, and I got out of body very quickly. I remember only looking at myself laying in the bed briefly, and I didn't walk through the wall or the window or go to a room or hang out. I would just shot right up out of my body, and I was above the planet. And I was circling around this beautiful planet, this star, and I could feel the energy in this atmosphere that was different on this space in between the universe and the gravitational pull of the planet. I was in this place where it seemed to be kind of a white ethereal dust or cloud with some pink mixed in, and then that vastness of the pool of the black and the blue of the universe behind you, and then just this glow and this radiation of natural light around Earth. And as I'm floating up there, I feel myself as my own physical body, aware of this deep connection because it is my conscious mind, my soul awakening. But I'm not physical. I have this ethereal body, this light body, this light became this light creature, my energetic body, or the aura, if you will. And I was able to see this aura and these other human spirits also floating around the earth. And they were having their own experience through moments of trance or through sleep. And I was aware as their energy bodies would move by me very quickly at points in times, and kind of reverberate off of my energy body, that they were on their own sojourn through their sleep state or through their spiritual travels, whether they were aware of it or not. And some were aware, and I could feel those beings on the vastness, like the open ocean of universe across the planet. And I remember connecting with one ethereal spirit in particular that was very masculine, but had more of a white or peachy to a gold ethereal body, a tone. And there was no physical representation. It was more that we recognized each other's consciousness through our spirit body. And there was this awareness and this need for me to want to connect so much more deeply with this energy that I was sensing. And then I could feel another energy that was almost a salmon color, pink to mauve color over on the right of me, looking down at Earth, and many different beings observing. And I got that anxiousness to want to connect with this other spirit body and this other consciousness, and our awareness of seeing each other in this astral projection. That overwhelming emotion I was feeling to connect almost sucked me out of the experience. And I started to feel that pull of me coming back into my body because I was pushing so hard, because I wanted it so bad. It's this moment of bliss, and you become addicted to it. You crave it because it allows you to not feel so separated from source anymore. You're getting back to becoming aware and remembering and feeling that unconditional love and this freedom and this light body, this independence of being able to fly and move and experience not just this dimension and walk through walls or go to other buildings or other people and places, but to also do it within this vastness of the universe into other galaxies, even to simply just have a great view and be at a viewpoint within the universe above the planet in a place that feels very comfortable, and to be observing Earth as a whole, as its own being, just slowly moving and evolving and rotating, and the clouds changing and the vibration of the energies, and to be aware of the spirit bodies around me. And this is just one of many of the experiences that I have had over the many years that I've been doing this work, and from the experiences that happened naturally as a child through the evolution of my outer body experience. And I want to share more, and if you're intrigued and interested about hearing more about these experiences, please comment below. I also want to share more later about meditations and techniques and things that can deepen this experience within you, where you can start to see the synchronicities in life and make the empathetic and psychic connections with things that are happening around you, and then be able to go learn about it more in your dream state or through setting the intention to get out of body. With that, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. And I'm going to continue to share lots on this more. I'm very passionate about it. If you've had experiences of your own, please comment below, like, subscribe, and I will continue to put out more videos on this amazing truth about our soul body. Blessings, guys.